I want to show you something. And before we start, let me make one thing absolutely clear. I'm not saying Donald Trump is Adolf Hitler. And I'm not saying Donald Trump sat down, read Hitler's political playbook, and decided to follow it. What I'm saying is much simpler. During World War II, American intelligence commissioned a psychological analysis of Adolf Hitler. And in that analysis was a description of the political tactics Hitler used. Listen to these rules. Never allow the public to cool off. Never admit a fault or a wrong. Never concede that there may be some good in your enemy. Never accept blame. Concentrate on one enemy at a time and blame them for everything that goes wrong. Also, people will believe a big lie sooner than a little one. And if you repeat it frequently enough, people will sooner or later believe it. Those words were written more than 80 years ago. So here's my question. How many of those tactics sound familiar today? Let's find out. Rule 1. Never allow the public to cool off. Donald Trump's political movement runs on outrage. There's always a crisis. There's always somebody coming after you. The immigrants, the Democrats, the media, prosecutors, judges, the deep state. Somebody is always destroying America. Somebody is always the enemy. And Trump is always the guy who's going to save you from them. Think about the language. They're not coming after me. They're coming after you. I'm just standing in the way. That's not a message designed to calm people down. It's designed to keep them angry. It's designed to keep them afraid. And most importantly, it's designed to keep them looking to him. Rule 2. Never admit a fault or a wrong. This one is almost too easy. Remember Trump's first inauguration? Trump insisted the media was misrepresenting the size of his crowd. Photographs showed otherwise? Did Trump say, okay, Obama's crowd was bigger? No. And then there was Hurricane Dorian. Trump said Alabama was likely to be affected by the hurricane. The National Weather Service corrected the information. Did Trump say, okay, I got that one wrong? No. We got a weather map that appeared to have been altered by a freaking Sharpie. Then there was Barack Obama's birth certificate. Trump spent years questioning whether Obama was born in the United States. Obama released his long-form birth certificate. Did Trump say, I was wrong? No. And then there's the biggest example of all, the 2020 election. Trump lost. The states certified their results. His legal challenges failed to overturn the result. His own attorney general said the department hadn't found fraud on a scale that could have changed the outcome. And more than 5 years later, Trump still won't simply say, I lost. Rule 3. Never concede that there might be some good in your enemy. Listen to the way Trump describes his political opponents. They're rarely just wrong. They're rarely people with whom he simply disagrees. They're corrupt. They're crooked. Or they're radical. Or Marxists. They're communists. They're destroying America. They're enemies. Hillary wasn't Hillary Clinton. She was Crooked Hillary. Joe Biden wasn't simply Joe Biden. He became Crooked Joe. Political disagreement gets transformed into something much simpler. Good versus evil. And guess which side Donald Trump is on? Rule 4. Never accept blame. When something goes wrong, watch where the responsibility goes. To the media, to the Democrats, to judges, to prosecutors, Republicans who aren't loyal enough, former employees, election officials, immigrants, other countries, almost anybody except Donald Trump. And here's the interesting part. When something goes well, Trump takes credit. When something goes badly, somebody else gets the blame. Rule 5. Find an enemy and blame them. The enemy changes, but there's always an enemy. For years it was Barack Obama, then Hillary Clinton, and then Joe Biden. And throughout all of it, the media, the immigrants, the deep state, Democrats, the rhinos, the characters change. The story doesn't. America would be great if these people weren't destroying it. And there's only one person who can stop them, Donald Trump. And now we get to the big one. People will believe a big lie sooner than a little one. And if you repeat it frequently enough, people will sooner or later start to believe it. There may be no better modern example than Trump's claim that the 2020 presidential election was stolen from him. Think about the size of that claim. Trump wasn't claiming somebody miscounted a handful of ballots. He was claiming that an American presidential election involving more than 150 million votes had effectively been stolen. That would require failures on an epic scale. Republican officials would have had to have missed it. Democratic officials would have had to have missed it. Trump's Justice Department would have had to have missed it. Courts would have had to miss evidence capable of overturning the result. And somehow Donald Trump knew the truth. And what did he do? He repeated the false claim again and again and again for years. And millions of Americans came to believe him. Now go back to those rules. keep the public worked up, never admit you're wrong, never acknowledge good in your enemy, never accept blame, tell the big lie again and again. I'm not telling you Donald Trump is Adolf Hitler. That's not my argument. I'm telling you that more than 80 years ago, American intelligence documented a remarkably effective set of political propaganda tactics. And today, we can compare those tactics with Donald Trump's own words and behavior. I've shown you the examples. I've shown you the pattern. So don't take my word for it. Look at the evidence and answer the question for yourself. How many of these rules does Donald Trump follow? I'm Alan Thompson, and this has been Quick Dive.